What's good, YouTube? It's your man CJ checking in once again, back with another video. Yo, as a nurse working in memory care, I say a prayer to God every day. And I say, Lord, please let me keep my memory. Let me keep my mind. Let me keep my thoughts. Just let me always be in a sound mind because it's something to see. And it's something to see once you see it every day. And it's crazy because me and my girl was just watching a movie. I forgot the name of it, but we was watching a movie about this professor who had lost or who had early onset Alzheimer's that transitioned into full blown Alzheimer's, and I'm just like, wow, wow, and you just learn. If you never worked in memory care before, it's a different experience, but um, because it's almost like you working with children, because it's like they revert back to being children. You have to say things over and over again, and just because they don't get it. Um, some people, Alzheimer's and memory loss is worse than others. You have some that they have very short-term memory; they can remember some things. Then you have some that it's hard for them to form sentences and say words. And that's a reality check for me. So I've been looking up like different ways to prevent Alzheimer's and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, bruh, that one right there, that's a rough one. I pray for all around good health, but it's just the Alzheimer thing, man. It's, ooh, ooh. And then it's hard for the families too, because sometimes families is like, it's hard for families to accept sometimes because, I can only imagine your mom parent who raised me look at me and not know who I am. That has to be a hard thing to accept. And I understand that's why sometimes, like, if you are a nurse working in long term care or assisted living and you working in memory care, I think you need to show a little bit more patience to the family. Because sometimes it has to be a difficult thing. And then, like, some families don't, some families will be in denial. Some families don't quite get it. But it's hard for a lot of them to accept that their family member is mentally declining. That would be a hard pill for me to swallow. Like, I'm not going to cap. Even with working in this field, seeing um, that would be a hard pill for me to swallow. So if you got families, if you got families out there that are a little bit more, um, what's the correct word to use? If you got families that can be a little bit more irritating, sometimes you got to give them a pass. You have to because you you got to put yourself in their shoes sometimes. And I understand families can overstep. I get it. 100%. I get it. But you really got to try to put yourself in their shoes. And I'm just like, I be coming in like day in and day out. And I really do enjoy working memory care. I like it. I do. It's a challenge. You learn new techniques on how to deal with people with this kind of condition, with this kind of disease process. Sometimes it can be real good. They can be funny. Uh, like I said, it's all different kind of ranges of it. They can be funny. They can tell you stories, from what they remember. Like I have a lady that she tells me her life story every time I see her, and then when I repeat it back to her, she's like, "Well, how did you know that?" And we had the same conversation. But that's our way of communicating and building my relationship with the resident. And this, it's an overall great experience, and it can be bad sometimes too, because then you'll have some residents who don't know how they got there, that'll forget, that want to go home. Some of them think that they still work, have jobs. So that can be a difficult thing. You just have to learn new techniques on how to deal with it. Like at my old job, we had a guy who thought, well, now he was an actual mailman before his condition developed. And what they would do, which was cool, they would get like envelopes or like empty pieces of mail, and they'll fill the bag up, and then they will let them pass out pieces of mail. And that's what he enjoyed doing. That's what kept him calm. And that's just what it was. And I thought that was a phenomenal idea because he was happy. He was happy. He was safe. The other residents were safe. The staff was safe. He was at peace. And I think when you're dealing with residents who are sometimes scared, they don't know what's going on, then imagine having to go through that very often, every minute, every second, not knowing where you are, not knowing who you are, not knowing how you got there, any of that. It gotta be a wild thing to deal with. Man. But that's just a few of my experience working with memory care. But that's all I got. Any of y'all work with memory care, any of y'all work with patients that have mental conditions or anything like that, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss none of the content. And if you don't do nothing else, get paid. Y'all nurse, get paid. Peace. I'm gonna holler at y'all in a minute.